Hello, hello, hello,
Hey
everybody.
everybody, welcome. We're so excited that you guys are here for our pink possibilities. Sydney and I did coordinate pink. Forgot to loop Autumn on that, but
Got the pink lipstick on.
that's right. But really, this is just really exciting. I just want to say, first of all, if you are here, tell us who you are in the chat. We want to know where you're from, who invited you. And by the way, I just want you to know that this call is really for women that we just love and admire, women that we see gifts in. And so I think that's one of the coolest things we get to do as healthy women for each other is really elevate other women. And so if she invited you on, it's because she does see something really incredible about you. So I hope that makes you feel amazing because you are. And she just really wanted you to see maybe why she loves what she does in her Mary Kay business. And, this may be something for you. It may not be. But I would just tell you wherever you're at, be present. Just be present because we're going to talk about, I know that God has nudged Autumn and we're going to talk about that today. And I just want you to be available so that he nudges you. And, we live in such a busy world, but it's those times that when we can slow down, that we allow to be able to hear him speak to us. And so I don't want you to miss it. All right. So grab your, favorite cup or beverage or whatever, go lock yourself in the bathroom. Maybe you're going to put on a Mary Kay mask, and allow yourself to like multi mask when hearing this tonight. But we're just so thankful that you're here. This is not about us. This is about you. And we truly want to know, what your dreams are, what your goals are. We just started a brand new Mary Kay year. And so it's just kind of an exciting time where there's endless possibilities. So what I'd love for you to put in the chat before we kind of break into our conversation is just, what is it like in your season of life right now? What do you want more of? Like, what do you need more of? What do you want more of? What is those things like kind of prompting you? Because, in all these seasons, we all have these callings in our life, but I know more than ever now is that a lot of them are seasonal. And so when you're out of one season, you're coming into a new season. And so you don't want to just always stay stuck in that. You want to be open to see what is like God speaking to me in this particular season. I truly believe if you'll be present, you're gonna be one step closer to whatever that is for you in your life, Mary Kay or not. So tell us in the chat, what do you need in life? What do you want more of? So we kind of know, and it's good for you to just kind of think about that as we break into the conversation. So Autumn, let's kind of start today with a question for you. You're a brand new leader in our company, the top 1%. So exciting. So first of all, congratulations. It's a big deal. It is a big deal to be in the top 1% of a global, international, number one brand for the third year in a row, skincare and color cosmetics. And I know it was such a journey and so exciting. Not always easy, but you did it. You did it. So we're so proud of you. So let's back up before we kind of get to that exciting news and just share maybe what, where were you in life when Mary Kay found you and what made you say yes?
So, quick about me. So, I'm a wife of a law enforcement officer. I have 3 kids, and my day job is a teacher. And, 5 years ago, it was COVID, and the world shut down. And 2020, right? We left school on a Friday and then got a call the next day. We weren't coming back. No one knew. And that's when Mary Kay found me. It was about a month later, and I purchased the skincare for myself, purchased it for my daughter, who was 11 at the time. And, because of her, I said yes. She fell in love, and, it was COVID. Everyone was talking self-care, slow down. And I found my self-care right here with Mary Kay. And that really, my 11-year-old daughter is why I said yes.
I love that. So tell us a little bit more about your family and just kind of your lifestyle. So teacher, coach.
Yeah. So
very busy.
I have 2 boys and a girl. And my husband is a detective. He's gone a lot, gets called out on the job. So there's a lot of times it's just the kids and I. But I teach and I coach because I love it. I feel like that's how I reach kids. You always are looking for a mission field, right? And to use your gifts. And I'm a Girl Scout leader. That's my most favorite thing, I think, right now, because I don't have very much time left doing that. My daughter's growing up on me, but But so, yeah, we lead busy lives. We aren't home very often of an evening, but we choose to do that because that's where we find time together as a family. And I believe everyone should use their gifts. So I'm always like, use your gifts if that's where your gifting is. So yeah, I do a lot. I like to say I wear a lot of hats. When I got my first teaching job, my boss at the time said, well, I'm really worried about you. And I said, well, until I drop one of the balls that I'm juggling, don't worry, because I've got it. And so I just think just choosing to find success and keep the ball rolling, I guess, is what I'm saying. Love it.
Well, I love that you shared that, because I think that so many women, we sometimes come into it's like automation, where it's just like, I'm too busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And we really don't realize, women, and I think God is using women in incredible ways right now. I mean, he really is. And I partly think, no offense to the guys, right? It's probably mostly women listening to this, but it's because I think we're saying yes to the assignment. We are saying, okay, I'm going to step in, I'm going to do this. And I'd love for you to talk about that a little bit, because you were courageous enough. It's never easy to just say, we can go, well, I've been doing the Girl Scout thing. I've been teaching for a while. I've been coaching. I've been doing the mom thing, right? I know that, but you actually took a step to say, I'm going to be courageous enough, number one, to join Mary Kay, first of all, but then you didn't just stop there. You really, had, what I know is a calling, right? To step into leadership. And there's never a perfect time for any of us to take that leap of faith and to step up to an area. So what made you have that courage, do you think, to kind of step into that role despite being busy and, the timing maybe not being perfect?
So honestly, first of all, saying yes to Mary Kay surprised everyone around me, because it wasn't something they thought I would do. But saying yes to leadership, really, I was called by God. I mean, it was not something I wanted, which might sound bad, but I just was surprised when God said, hey, this is the time, why are you waiting? And God's been able to use me through that, and really just to reach women, and to serve in this way. And like I said, I was surprised, but he put a date on my heart. He said, March 1st, you're going to go for it. And I told Cindy, I said, hey, by the way, March 1st. And she just said, okay, great. And neither of us made a big deal. God allowed me to say it. I didn't even know what I was saying. And then in January, he said, hey, Autumn, remember March 1st. And I was like, oh yeah, March 1st, that's coming up, Jesus. So that was really why, what made me say yes is he honestly told me the day. It wasn't something I was looking for. I probably would have waited till my kids were older or out of the house. But he said, now's the time. So yeah. So I love that. So Cindy, something I have a question for you about is, what do you love the most about being a leader and then just helping grow new leaders, with this company?
Well, I do have to say that it has been such a joy, Autumn, and working with you and working close with you. And you have really put just a new excitement in our future national area, where we are really this is coming together. We are creating this national area. We are rising up leaders. And I tell people all the time, and I told Autumn this, when she was a new consultant, I say, if you have the gift of leadership, which definitely Autumn has the gift of leadership, obviously she leads in so many areas of her life, and teaching and coaching and Girl Scouts and in her home, and, does have all these balls, plates spinning in the air, right? And does it so well, and really does keep the priorities that Mary Kay, set whenever she founded this company almost 62 years ago, with faith first, family second, career third. Despite all the things that are on Autumn's plate, she really has kept those things in line. And even as scheduling our events and things like that, she's like, okay, well, I've got a football game that day, or it's my son's senior year. And so we just work around it. And so I love that how you have really given women, this vision of really sprinkling Mary Kay into your life and where you can have it all. And I have so enjoyed, and I so enjoy working with women and helping them. And allowing God to use me to help them to grow, truly grow into the people that God made them to be and into the giftings that He has made. And so I'm so excited because you've been a leader in Mary Kay, even though you haven't had, the exact title of director. I mean, before she was even a director, Amy, she was like giving her consultants incentives for holding appointments and getting active and, all the things. And so she would reward her consultants, her team. And I was like, you're awesome. And so you've just been such a joy. And this is the thing, us as mentors, and Autumn, you're really going to learn this as you start to develop, and you've already started, with your small unit, little baby unit that you have. You've already started this, but Amy can attest to this too, it is such a joy to work with people that are teachable and trainable and coachable. And you really are. And you don't just allow us to coach you and mentor you, but you also bring so much to the table. And so it has been just a pure joy just to see what God is doing in and through you and the lives that you're going to touch along the way.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you.
It's such a joy. Yes. So you had mentioned that you really stepped up into this leadership and made the decision. And Autumn's not one to say something if she doesn't know that she can do it, right? Like she's like, I'm not going to just throw out, this goal if I'm not going to do the work.
Do the work. That's right.
And I think that's what's held Autumn a little bit back from doing it earlier, is because she didn't feel like that she could put in the work that she needed to be a successful sales director. But she is in tune with what God is saying, and she's obedient to what God has called her to do, even though she's like, are you sure? Like, I'm really busy.
I was like, I don't know, Jesus.
I don't know how I can fit this in, but she was obedient to that. He clearly told her, right? So can you share just really how you really knew, like how you knew it was the right time to make the step and make the decision to step up into leadership and to do the work around all the other things that you had on your schedule?
So like I said, God kind of gave the date March. I mean, He did give the date March 1st, and my birthday's in March, and I was like, okay, like let's do this, and I got to work in January and worked. I mean, I was working my business, but not really. But when He said it's time, I got to work. And actually, I had no new recruits in January, and I kept working and I kept working and I kept working and I kept seeing the faces. And in February, God gave me a gift, February 28th, where I added 3 new recruits and got them in so I could submit for director and qualification, to where I could take that first leap of faith to be obedient to Him. And honestly, it was 11:51 when my last recruit came in, and Cindy and I were on the phone, and it was just like,
you can't make this stuff up, people.
Yeah, like honestly, I knew God didn't. I knew God said March 1st. I knew it. And so because I knew He said it, there was no holding back, because of all things, I wanted to have faith in Him and be obedient. And so I just kept doing the work. And 11:51, my good friend said, okay, so we have 10 minutes. I go, yes, let's go. Let's do this. She was my last one. And yeah, it wasn't easy, but I just kept going, and God provided. And those times when I thought, ooh, I don't know, Lord. I mean, You said it, and so I'm willing to do the work. And He came through. And in the spring, I actually don't coach. So that is one type of season that I'm not coaching. My kids' sports aren't as busy. So I was able, I mean, God said, you're not coaching. You can do this. Now's the perfect time, and, despite counting like 10,000 Girl Scout cookies, that's a story for another day. But that was it. He knew the time. I didn't know, but He knew. And I actually got confirmation. I called another director friend of mine, who is a teacher also. Cause I know right now I still want to be teacher, right? And I want to lead in this business also. But God used me to tell her what he was trying to tell me. And I love it when God gives me the words and I hear myself say it, because it's really him confirming.
Yeah.
I'm saying it. And the words were this, why should my 17-year-old son have to wait to see the success when he could be living in my house and enjoy the success of me not only stepping out in faith and being obedient, but showing him reaching for those goals and being willing to put in the work when it seems impossible, right? It seems impossible because you hear all the things and it's like, how can that even happen? But let me tell you, I'm here to say it happened. And, God, he called me in that way, and he called me for that exact assignment, right? To step up in this area. And there were times, it was last moment times, guys. 11th hour deadlines, and
Yeah.
God pulled through, and it was amazing. And so yeah, he just kept confirming through myself, through my family, saying, okay, Mom, go ahead, go for it. Okay. My husband saying, okay, you can do it, go for it. And that right there was a big turning point as well. And I feel like you can't question when for sure. And God says, you can't question.
Yeah, no, that's so powerful. And I hope that I don't want people to miss the fact, if you're listening and you have kids, and it doesn't really matter what age your kids are, because they are watching us, right?
Yes.
They are watching to see what we're doing. It doesn't matter if we're like, you can do anything you put your mind to. And, the sky's
You're
the
not
limit.
living that out. It doesn't matter.
Right. They really have to see that. And I think that was such a great little nudge, a great whisper that God's like, listen, let them see it. And for those of you who are not in the Mary Kay world, the directorship position, it really does allow you to increase your impact and your income a lot, right? So it's that big jump. That's why it's a big deal. So I'm just curious, like, I'd love for y'all to put in the chat, if you could increase your impact, how would that be different in your life? Or if you could increase your income, how would life look different? So I think sometimes, we don't think what's on the other side of this happening. And that's really what the motivation is. Nobody wakes up and wants to go to work, right? Like, it's not like, and so for us to think about that, or think, oh, I'm going to just wake up and then today I'm going to feel like it. It's not that. It's out of a place of, oh, I believe that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And sometimes, Autumn got a date. I know for me, it hasn't always been that clear.
Never for me before this. Never.
Right. It's very clear. So I don't want everyone to think, oh, I have to have a date. But deep down, like, that right? So if there's something that you feel prompted to, and I put it in the chat. So if you're a consultant, maybe there is a time that you're like, yeah, I have felt to step up, but I've been nervous, or it doesn't feel like the right time. So, take that step and see, because what I love from Autumn's story is that she's had so many like only God moments.
Yeah.
And see, when we don't have these bigger goals and we just play it safe, we miss out on those incredible moments. And we can't explain it if you've never had that. You have to have a goal bigger than you.
Yep.
And let's not put God, he's not a little God. He's a big God. And he wants to do big things through us if we would have the faith for that. I was reading in my quiet time today, we cannot please God without faith. So everything that we do is going to require just a higher level of faith for the higher the goal is, or the bigger the goal is. So let's wrap up with this, Autumn. How has stepping into this leadership position, how has it allowed you to live out your faith and serve women? Because that's what this is about. It's not about us. It's about serving these other people in a deeper way than maybe you expected.
So first of all, just the amount of women I've been in front of has increased a lot. And I've had people say, it's just a positive environment. Like, I just want to be here. And that's, that's customers. I just want to be here. I'm like, come all the time. You can be here whenever, And so I just love that. And then just, what's amazing about how God has worked is the people who have started their Mary Kay business recently in my team and now in my unit, they've been able to see that too. Because they've said like, well, how far are we, or how much more do we need? And it's like, well, he'll provide, but we've got to do the work. And April was a hard month for me. And I said, I'm not going to not do the work. I will always do the work. That was a commitment I made early on. And so, but what God has done is he's just allowed me to reach more women that I didn't even realize that even needed this business or just needed a positive environment or just wanted to feel confident in who they are, whether it's the product. I like to say, I want women to be blessed by what I'm doing and how that I'm using Mary Kay to reach them, whether they're blessed by the product, whether they're blessed by coming together at a table, toe to toe, knee to knee, or whether it's the business. I just want women to make that decision for themselves and to find the blessing that I found. And we're all blessed in different ways. Everyone finds the blessing in different ways and at different times. But I would challenge someone watching to be open to, trying the product and getting to know the story and just stepping out in faith and pray about what God is calling you to do and what that looks like in your life. If it's something you're currently doing or if it's something new, he wants you to step out. Becoming a leader was not on my goal poster. It was not a goal I had because
it was a goal I had for you.
I didn't know. I mean, it wasn't. And that's okay. Maybe it's on your goal poster and it's time. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're like me. But I think it's important just to be listening and to be ready because God has done measurably more than I can imagine. And he's going to do even more as we keep moving. And I can't wait to see it. So yeah, super excited.
Oh, I love that. Well, before Cindy closes us out, you guys put in the chat, like, what is that for you? Out of everything that you've heard, what was nudging you? What was prompting you, whether you're a guest or a beauty consultant or a director, what is it that you heard today that you think, okay, maybe this is where I need to take a step of obedience. Maybe this is where I need to be more courageous. Maybe this is where I just need to step out and just try something to see if this is really what God has for me. Because, we have to take that step for him to show us the next step. And he's not going to show you. I mean, it's biblical. This isn't my opinion. Like, this is a fact. Like, he will not show you the whole big picture. You have to trust him and be faithful in just what he's showing you right now in this next step. So put in the chat what that is. And Cindy, why don't you tell them, hey, if you do want to take that next step and be a part of our amazing sisterhood that we pray together, empower each other, and help you to be all that God's called you to be, how can they do that?
Yes. So if you are feeling a little nudge, right? Even if it's just a little nudge, you can actually start your own Mary Kay business for only $35. And this is the way that I thought about it whenever I was starting out. It was a whole lot more when I started, right? It was a whole lot more when all of us had started because Autumn came in right before they switched it to the eStart, right? Because it was right in the beginning of COVID. And then Mary Kay was like, let's give a virtual option, right? For starting a business. And, but we all started for $100, right? So, but now you can start for as little as $35. And when I was thinking about doing this business 23 years ago, right? I thought, I don't know anything about makeup or skincare or how to teach people how to do it or how to run a business, but I know I'm never going to know unless I try. Right. What is it going to hurt for me just to see? Like just to try, right? Just to try to see if it's a good fit. So for $35, you can start your own business. I'm going to show you, this is a little bit of a different screen than I'm normal. I'm not going to show you because I don't see where I can share. Okay. So maybe this. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I can see it. Okay. So sorry. Okay, so we're going to share. Here we go. This is how you can start. So you can actually start for as little as $35. That is our eStart. And basically that comes with your website for 24/7 people can shop. You get it for your first full year in Mary Kay. You get your ProPay, which is your credit card processing that's connected to your website so people can shop and pay right there online. You get all the back office stuff, all the education. You get to make up to 50% on everything you sell, and you get to get 50% off of your own beauty products. Yay. Just like Autumn, she was like, I started because my daughter loved the product and I love the product. And so you can start for that. You also get a few samples in the mail, and you get us. You get your very own personal business coach and mentor that will give you all the tools that you need to be successful at whatever that looks like for you. You also have the option to upgrade to a Pro Start. So you can start for $125, which is your $35 eStart. It includes all the things in your eStart. Plus, you get this gorgeous bag that a lot of my people are using for like baby bags, and you get over $400 worth of product, plus sales aid samples, a little flip chart to tell you what to say at your appointments, mirrors, all the things. That is perfect for the girl that loves a great deal. First of all, over $400 worth of product for $125, and you feel like you're going to do the things like Autumn talked about doing, gathering together and eyeball to eyeball, toe to toe, knee to knee, and have the products that you need to demo at your appointments. So you can option into doing the Pro Start or just starting for $35. So we are inviting you. We don't believe things happen by accident, that you are on here for a reason. And maybe it's because God is using this to nudge you to take a step in faith and give this business a try, see if it's a good fit. Or maybe you're like, oh, this may not be for me, but I think my daughter would be amazing at this. Mm-hmm. So maybe you just are going to be a talent scout for us. But we do love decision makers, and you will get a gift from your director for making a decision at your first steps chat. You'll get a gift from your director or your mentor. So we want you to drop in the comments an A, B, or a C. Okay. And so our A is like absolutely $35, and I get to shop for 50% off, and I can make some money for my family. Yeah. Yes, please. Okay. So that is, let's get this business started. That is A, absolutely. Okay. If you are an A, then you need to let your Mary Kay consultant know so she can send you the little agreement link that you're going to fill out to get your business started. A B is, you know what? This was interesting. I have a few questions. Book me for a chat, an MK Q&A. Okay. So book me for a time for us to meet online or in person for coffee. I have a few more questions for you. That's B. Or C is, you know what? I just love supporting my consultant small business. I don't mind paying full price. I just want to be a happy customer, and we love our customers. We would not be in business if we did not have customers. And so a C is like, nope, I'm not interested in starting. I'm completely satisfied with the way that my life is right now, my finances and my friendships and all the things. I'm completely satisfied. I just want to support my consultant and be a happy customer. So we hope that we will have some A's and B's and even some C's out there. And we would love to welcome you into our Pink Tribe. Thank you so much for being on today. And make sure you message your consultant, because she might have a little something for you for watching our Pink Possibilities today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Have a great night.